Welcome back, Not So Secret Society listeners. We are still on hiatus between season 1 and season 2, but stay tuned. Soon we will be releasing some new episodes and some new bonus content as well. Also, you can find us on Patreon at the Not So Secret Society. So if you'd like to listen to our previous episodes ad-free, go ahead and do that. We are here today because we had the privilege of interviewing many authors from the Right Women Book Fest, which just happened on October 9th. It was the very first one. We're very excited about it. And in this first installment of our interview series that we've done for the Right Women Book Fest, we interview Heather L. Brooks, who is the founder of the festival and an author in her own right. So enjoy this episode and stay tuned for more.
Well, this is so fun. We've had a few author interviews so far, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the festival, the Women Right Festival, and just give us kind of a rundown of like how it all started and how it's going, and tell us everything.
Okay. So I wanted to do old-fashioned women's writing salons, and there just wasn't anything like that in my area. I know there are a lot of writing groups and writing organizations, and there's some really good ones here in Maryland, like the Maryland Writers Association and stuff. But I wanted a smaller group of women, local women I could connect with who are at any stage of their writing, from thinking about writing a book to having been published traditionally and whatever. And I started that group in person back, I think, in 2019. And it went really well. It was called the Women Authors of Maryland at the time, but then I wanted to kind of broaden it a little bit so people who didn't live in Maryland felt like they could, because I'm very near DC and Northern Virginia and stuff. So I have changed it to the Right Women Network. And if there's any women, femme-identifying, non-binary authors out there who would like to join that, right now it's just a private Facebook group, but it's the Right Women Network. Anyway, so I started in early 2019. I was doing that, and I decided I wanted to have a women's book fest to participate with, because I feel like women authors have unique problems that they face that male authors don't. So with that in mind, I did a research. I was like, I want to join one, and there weren't any that I could find. So came to the next salon meeting. I was like, I'm going to do a women's book fest. Who wants to do it? And Carden Brooks, who is also my co-organizer, and she's the outreach coordinator now, she was like, I'll help with it. And then I had some volunteers. And so that same year, we paired up with Marietta House Museum, and they were like, "Yeah, sounds like it's a parks and planning property. It's a historic property." They were like, "Yeah, that fits in with our educational programming. Go ahead and do it." And so that was how it was born, just out of a desire at first to connect with women authors and sort of address the unique issues that women authors and women in publishing face. But then it's sort of it's moved over to a lot of newer authors seem to be attracted to this concept. And I think it's in part because a lot of my focus is on when I was a baby author. I think my first book was published 7 or 8 years ago. The hardest parts for me were feeling like I belonged in the writing community, getting a book in a bookstore, getting a book in the library, getting an interview on a podcast. Like, all of these things were really daunting, especially to somebody who hadn't really gained their footing. And indie authors, especially, traditionally published newer authors, suffer from this too. But I think indie authors don't get the same amount of respect, or maybe respect's the wrong word, the same sort of like cachet. There's just something still, even now that indie publishing is a lot more accepted, it still gives you more credibility, I guess, if you're traditionally published. So because some agent or some publisher has decided that you're worth publishing. And I think that's why I love these little hybrid and small presses and stuff like that, because they really try to they come from passion. They're passion projects mostly. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's great if you can get a big deal with a big publishing house. We applaud that as well. And if you are an author who's a big name author with lots of followers, please come speak at our book fest some year. Please come mentor and encourage these other authors. We are hoping to have grant money next year to have keynote speakers and things like that. So we're continuing to grow. So I just completely talk. What would you like to say?
That's no, God. We hear each other talk all the time. That is, it's so interesting. And I wonder what specifically you mean when you say that, female authors have a different set of problems and a different set of issues that they face than male authors. And do you specifically mean women who are published, who self-publish, or women who publish in the traditional publishing world, and or both?
I mean, women authors in general versus male authors, mostly because, well, for example, even today, a lot of men will not read a book written by women. So you might have a boy even that will not read a book written by a female. So that is one of many layers of examples. And there's little things too, like when you go to the city by yourself and I'm not saying that women can't go to the city and be independent and do these things, but when you go to a strange city, for me anyway, I would go to a strange city, I would have to find parking in a garage and lug all this stuff by myself to a site and do a fair or a festival. I think it's different for women. We have to be looking over our shoulders. We have to be mindful of people that approach us in a way that men don't really generally have to. So I just think that everything from the regular experience of women to being an author and a woman has its, and then you add in, marginalized groups like LGBTQ community, the Black and Latinx community, Asian community that do not have the same broad acceptance across, like that is a big, inclusivity is a big part of our mission, so that we have a good mix of authors from different backgrounds and that everybody feels welcome. I say this sometimes on social media, every now and then I'll just be like, I still feel like the kid wandering around the lunchroom with the tray looking for the group of kids to sit with. I still feel a little outside sometimes. And maybe this book fest is a little bit my own way to connect and not feel like an outsider, like I belong in a community. So.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. It's like, if you don't feel like you are belonging in different communities or in different, even just like the social media based communities, like TikTok, where we met.
Yeah.
It can be very isolating.
You guys met on TikTok?
We met on TikTok. Yeah.
Bobbie Jo, you're already way younger than me, because I'm like, how does one do the TikTok?
Well, first you have to learn some moves, right? Like this stuff and
yeah.
Yes, exactly. You got it, Lauren. You're all ready to go. What
are you ready? On Instagram.
Dun, dun. Yep.
Yep.
I actually don't do any of that stuff. I love book talk because it's not a lot of that. But if it is that, they always put a book spin on it, which I love.
Yeah, they do, which is fun. Our social media manager was saying that we need to do more dances and stuff. And I was like, no. Immediately no. Yeah.
Nope. That'll be a big no. You better find another trend I can do.
Yeah.
Like you can.
That's a full no.
There's lots of sounds you can do stuff to that don't have anything to do with dancing.
That's true. We do stuff like that. I like the movie based ones. I like the office quotes that you can do that have to do with books. But those are fun. But what I was saying is that it can be very isolating in social media. Like if you can't find your niche, and or if you are the kind of person like it sounds like you are, Heather, who really loves to connect people and really loves to, and I'm the same way. Like I've had everywhere I've lived as an adult, I've created a different book club just to have that interaction with other readers. And, so it's kind of beautiful. It's like you're creating your own community of female authors and of, people who you want them to feel welcome. And that's a
I
really
do.
beautiful thing.
Thank you. And thank you that you recognize that, because I always say I'm a lemons to lemonade kind of person. I've been through a lot in my life. And so like, if I can take the crappy experiences or the hurt that I've had and find a way to prevent other people from having it, I'm going to do that if I can. And this is definitely a passion project at this point. We're hoping to start getting, more money towards the project so that we can grow and get sponsorships or partnerships or whatever. But we are so thankful that you all had decided to do this for our authors, because it's a big dream of a lot of authors to be on their first podcast or their second or be on a podcast and talk about their book project. It's exciting. And that's those little things that sometimes when you're having that dark night of the soul stuff and you're like, I'm no good. Why am I doing? Nobody reads my books. And it can just take one little thing, as somebody listening to saying, yeah, we'll interview you, or I listened to you on a podcast the other, and it can that can drive you for a long time to just get through that hump.
Kind of
Absolutely.
The same lines of what you're talking about. That's been a lot of our journey with the podcast. We read the same books and we work together and we became fast friends, and we just started joking when we would work out together, like, oh, we should be on a podcast because we read the same books and we just talk about them. And it's been really fun, but it has been in that passion project stage. And Bobbie Jo, I'll be honest, I'll give all credit to her for pushing it, because I'm like, I'll read the book, but like,
just give me a headphones. You do all that stuff, and I'll talk and drink.
Well, no, but more like, who cares what I say? Nobody cares what I say.
I love it.
Books,
and they do. Fun. Yeah,
and then you
people
get
do
1 or 2 interviews, and you're like, hey, let's have professional pictures taken.
And look at how great they came out. And you guys have such a good. It looks very branded and professional, but not like overly so. It's like not like super slick. It's kind of cozy and very bookish and a little feminine on top of it. I love it.
Thank you.
We decided that like we were talking about it for a while, and we were like, what do we call our brand? Like, what do we call that? And so we decided on feminine academia, kind of like dark academia, but like feminine academia is kind of what we wanted. And then
it's a meshing of my personal vibe and her personal vibe. Bobbie,
right. Vibe. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so when it comes to, sorry, go ahead, Heather.
That's okay. I was going to say, so how long have you two known each other and you started this? I mean, you didn't start it that long ago, but how long before you, I'm understanding, Bobbie Jo, that you're moved around a bit and that you have started book clubs in each place. And so how long have you known each other?
I used to live in the Bay Area. We met in November of 2019 and we became friends probably
March of 20.
Yeah. Like March would be a good measure. I think like March of 2000. No. Yeah.
Right before lockdown.
Right. That's the first conversation we had where you were like, Lauren, you should marry my brother. And I was like, is he cute?
That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot. And then
we're still working on that.
We're still working on it.
Did that happen?
Not yet. But I find that if you put things out into the universe, that eventually they will come to fruition. And I prefer to be able to choose my family members at this point. So I would rather just like, I feel like if we can do a podcast together, then we can be family.
We can do anything.
Yeah. It's like having a baby.
And you two, so you have a love of different kinds of books or the same, and you discuss them?
Yes, to both.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. We love,
I listened to the first 2 podcasts, and I feel like you guys said something about your tastes, but I don't remember what it was because that was like 2 months ago.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, thank you. But yeah, we do. Thank you for listening. It does get better. Like our quality got better and everything has gotten better, but, we are different. And like, I think, as like, especially talking about like the different varieties that you have of female authors, in the organization, Lauren and I both enjoy similar books that we talk about together. And also we have a different taste that like I will read like nonfiction, I'll read like classics and things. And Lauren hates things if they don't have any action.
If there's no danger, I'm not reading it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how do you decide on a book to both read and share and discuss?
We fight.
She suggests things, and then I suggest things, and then we just pretend that she didn't suggest anything.
Okay.
That has literally happened. She's making a joke. This is my cry for help. In our first season, she's like, anyway, and then we'll wrap it up. And I was like, except for this one that we've talked about 7 times.
I don't mean to do it. I really don't.
Wait a minute. I know which one that is.
The Knife of Never Letting Go.
Yeah.
Yes. And the movie is called Chaos Walking. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
Anyway, anyway, we are coming along just fine. But like I have my hard line, which is nothing with no danger, and Bobbye Jo's hard line is no horror. So we just really respect each other's. It's about
there's a lot in between there.
Boundaries. Boundaries. And really, and it's horror, like certain kinds of horror. Like I read Stephen King, and like I've read some other horror genres as well. But like, it's just, I'm a scaredy cat. That's all.
Well, it's about to be scary season. It might be good. Like you might be able to find a book for Halloween time. That's do you have one already?
Well, our next season after this season is murder. Because we do it in seasons. So like the first season was adaptations, and now we're doing retellings, like classic myths retellings and things like that. And the next season will be murder. The murder mystery is your favorite?
Murder mystery is my favorite to read in terms of like I love true crime and I love murder mysteries from way back. Before that, it was fairy tales, and I actually write fairy tale retellings. So that's what I do.
Love that.
We should do one.
Yes, let's do one.
Send us a list.
Okay. I'm about to redo the covers and put content warnings and stuff. So I will send you, we can plan it well ahead. So, but yeah, I did a retelling of it's inspired by Red Riding Hood, set in a small town in Maryland in the 1980s. So it's a little, I love stuff before cell phones because that just automatically amps up the danger. But it's danger.
Ask Bobbye Jo if there's a cell phone or a computer in something. I am hard pressed to read it.
I just think it's too easy to go, somebody's going off in a helicopter. You're like, I might never see that, but you're like,
don't worry. I'll text you later. Yeah.
You can just, I'm just going to Apple find you. Where did you go?
One of my good book friends, because I have not started a book club ever. I just push my book recommendations on existing friends. One of my book friends is like, I'm reading this series. This is way back. I'm reading this series called Black Dagger Brotherhood. It's a vampire series. And I was like, oh, okay. Totally. Tell me about it. And she's like, anyway, so-and-so texts so-and-so. And I was like, I'm out. No, thank you. Vampires texting? Like with the touch screen with their cold hands? I don't think so. That's so unrealistic, McKenna.
You ever tried to text when it's too cold outside? It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You gotta like.
That's right. I never thought of that. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna start. Sometimes I get on a laugh and I can't breathe.
I love it.
Just going that way.
If you ever need a laugh, think of Edward Cullen trying to call an Uber. Like,
it's gonna have to all be voice. Hello, Siri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too funny.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you for doing this for the authors, and that we have actually some really amazing authors this year. And I'm sure one of them today said, "Oh my gosh, they're so lovely. They're such nice ladies." So that's great too. So
I love it.
Nice. Yeah, me too. My daughter does that. She goes,
she does.
Well, she's an adult now, but she goes right.
Well, we get it. We do it.
We're adults, but
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes that's considered sort of like, I don't know, that's the 10-year-old me when I do this, you know.
Right.
You
I'm
know.
still very much a 10-year-old in here. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think one of my school pictures is actually like that, like on the fake railing.
Oh my
I need that picture. I need it.
I think you should. I think you both should come up with an old photo to share.
Oh
with
God,
the
no.
community.
There, I'll share Lauren's.
What a great idea.
Okay, fine. We will share. We promise listeners members will share a picture, an old school picture
You
of
should
me
make
and Lauren.
a Patreon thing or something where you get the
okay.
Patreon extra.
Perfect. There's a Patreon bonus. Like if you if you pay $3 to listen to our episodes ad free, then you will also be able to see our old school pictures that we will post.
Love
So
it.
we're gonna do that. We gotta make.
Thank you, Heather. Good idea. I'll make it a really good one. Okay, and it might be. What if I do a baby pic? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I have one where I'm in an actual bucket.
Oh,
so that's a good one.
I mean, that is classic. If you two
classic
had
80s,
more my age, it would be like the glamour shot. You know, with
yes.
and the
I have those too.
The leather, yeah.
I
think that glamour shots went out of business before you guys were born.
Nope, they did not.
They did
not go out of business.
I did that for my 13th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we may look a little bit young, but
yeah, you guys got the fountain of youth over there.
It's retinol. It's all retinol.
Reading keeps you young.
Yeah, reading keeps you young.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also you're not going outside in the sun, which is really the biggest cause of damage.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Look at all of us. We look fabulous.
I'm a big believer in the sunscreen. So I'm holding. I've had 2 birthdays in pandemic so far. Like I was supposed to have my birthday the week that we went to lockdown in 2020. I was supposed to have a big birthday, my big 50th. And then that did not happen. And so then I had my 51st, which we're saying I'm holding at 49 until we're allowed to have a
just
party.
hold it.
So it's almost your 50th birthday next spring.
Almost. March next year will be my 50th.
It's almost my 30th then. Next
there we go.
Yeah.
Until 28, 29.
Birthdays are on hold until pandemic's over. So we're all going to look like vampires forever.
He's 32 forever.
That's
like,
right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that it's been such a fun day talking to all of these different female authors, and everyone is so passionate about their books, and I think that's been really fun to see. Like, because and sometimes I know that people can get nervous, like doing a quote unquote interview of any kind, but I know I do. It's if I don't know exactly what I'm going to say or what I'm going to be asked in a certain situation, it can get really scary. But everyone, when they start talking about the stories that they've written in their books, they are so passionate and they love to talk about it. And I think that their own individual stories and inspirations are so important. It's important that we hear them, and it's important that they're out there, and it's important that they have a platform. And so I thank you for that, because it is very important. And I hope that the festival grows and everything just continues to go really, really well.
I really appreciate. Oh, I'm getting a little emotional there. It's nice to know that it's coming across that way, because really that's my dream, is that all of us, you with your podcast and us with our books and the many publishers that we have, that we all can just support each other. And there doesn't need to be, there's room for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of writers, a lot of podcasts, a lot of TikTokers out there, but there's room for all of us if we all support each other. And I think that's why hopefully that mine and Cardin's leadership comes through in the way that we're just embracing and trying to uplift. And I think that that's why we keep coming in contact with such wonderful people like you, and like all the authors that we've had have just been really wonderful people. I have had so many wonderful conversations and interactions and help and gratitude throughout the whole process that it kind of blows me away. I expected to, having been a manager of a restaurant, having been worked retail, having, like, I just expected a lot more drama, but there really hasn't been any, and it's nice. I think that just
save it for the books.
Yeah. Save the drama.
Save the
Maybe that's what's happening. We're all saving the drama for the books. So again, much appreciation from the two of you, and the authors are very excited to be a part of your podcast and to get their stories out there. And it really, there's no other way that it's one kind of feeling. Like there's nothing that replaces this kind of interaction, and it's appreciated so much.
It's so true. Yeah. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you so much, Heather. It's been really great.
And it's been great talking to the oh man, the hero behind the legend. My brain today.
Yeah.
Well,
mastermind.
We will be in touch, and I will definitely be joining the Patreon to see the school photos.
Okay. Thank you for that idea.
Yeah,
yes, everybody who's listening, all you Right Women book ladies who are also listening and sharing this, go out there and do a Patreon and check out those school photos. We got to get the legends out there too.
I love it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, Heather.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.